Studios.
Welcome back to Laughing in the Dark, the podcast where I hang out in haunted places with comedians. This is another fixture in our Sunday Minisode series where I talk to you about your ghost stories. For this Minisode, I spoke to Aubrey from Roanoke, Virginia. Aubrey shared a couple haunting stories straight from his own haunted bedroom. Here's the call.
Hello?
Hi, is this Aubrey?
Yeah, it is.
Hi, this is Sarah calling from Laughing in the Dark. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Where are you calling from?
Roanoke, Virginia.
I've never even been to Virginia.
Oh, well, you're not missing much. I mean, except for maybe Gettysburg. Like, I hear there's a lot of stuff there, so you'd probably have a field day there.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, I'll put it on the list. Does your ghost story take place in Virginia or somewhere else?
Yeah. I have a few, but yeah, all of them have happened in Virginia.
Okay. Well, yeah, I just want to remind you, I haven't heard your story. My manager read your story, but I have no idea what you're about to tell me.
Okay. Well, basically, the one that I sent in was, it takes place in the house that we have now, that we actually live in, actually in the bedroom that I'm in right now.
Oh, perfect.
So, yeah, it's fine. It's totally awesome. So basically, I wake up early in the morning for work anyways, about 4:30. So I woke up, I don't know what time it was because my alarm didn't go off. So I didn't even bother looking at my phone. I was just going to go back to sleep. And then, you know, that feeling that you get, like you just feel a presence, like somebody walking past you or standing right behind you.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, like I felt that, but I felt like it was walking past me. And then we have an air conditioner directly across from our bed. And it even broke the air current walking past the air conditioner. And then I felt something get into bed, like right next to me, and even felt the indentation in the bed right next to me. And I thought it was my wife. So I was just like, you know, but I didn't hear the sink. I didn't hear the commode. I didn't hear anything. So I was making sure everything was okay. I was just like, you know, I was trying to wake her up. I was like, hey, you know, babe, you know, is everything okay? Like, what's up? No answer. So I look beside of me. Like, we have a king size bed and I sleep on the very edge. And unlike her, she's actually on the complete other side of the bed with her back to me, like knocked out. So I'm just like, but I'm still trying to make sense of everything. And I was like, hey, you know, why'd you get up? You know, and then she still didn't answer. So she's knocked out and I'm like reaching over her to like make sure that somehow the kids didn't get into bed or anything like that. And like, that's what woke her up is she's just like, what, you know, she's like, what's going on? And I told her what happened and she's just like, oh, great. And then just basically like rolled over and went back to sleep. And I was just like, well, good for you. I was like, I can't now because whatever it was directly beside of me. But
yeah. Did it feel like a female presence or could you not really tell?
It did. And I think that's why I automatically assumed it was her.
Yeah.
Of course, I have 2 daughters too. So it could have just been process of elimination, like, you know, not automatically assuming that some random dude's in my house trying to cuddle up next to me.
Sure. Hey, you don't know. It's 2019.
But yeah, it did actually feel like a female presence. And what's ironic about that is, this is my house growing up, but we moved out when me and her got together and we bought it from my dad. And he was telling me before we got the place and moved back in, he was telling me that he actually woke up one morning and saw a full-bodied apparition of a woman just standing in front of him, like smiling at him. And then like she just disappeared. And the only thing that kind of ticks me off about that is the fact that, like, I've seen a shadow person before, but I've never seen a full-bodied apparition, like, right in front of me like that. And he's always the skeptic. Like, me and my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, we would tell him, like, you know, we can hear the kitchen doors or the kitchen cabinet doors opening and slamming shut. And he would always be like, oh, okay, sure you did. And I'm like, no, she heard it too. It's not just me. I'm not crazy. He's like, okay. And then he tells me that he woke up one morning and like a female spirit standing in front of him. And I'm just like, really? I'm like, you're the one that gets to see that? Like,
interesting. Yeah. And that was in the same house that you're in right now?
Yeah. And my mom passed away going on 5 years now. And my first question was actually like, was it Mom?
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, and he's like, no, it wasn't. And I was actually kind of disappointed in that. And I was like, man.
Yeah.
But, and he's kind of confused by it too, because as far as I know, there was, well, according to him, there was a woman that died in the house. I want to say the owners before my parents, but he said it couldn't have been the spirit, because like apparently it was like a much older woman that died in the house and had like she fell ill and then just died because of the illness.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know what that's all about, because I haven't really ever since the night that whatever it was got into bed with me. I haven't experienced anything.
What I
recently
really find fascinating, though, is you mentioning that you felt the gender. Like, just talking about that, because I had that exact same experience with my own ghost story. And it's not.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. And it's so, I think you're probably one of like 3 other people I've ever heard say that. And like I joke about it before, but really it's so different when you're just like, I could just tell there was like, you feel the gender of the presence. And I did the same thing when I had mine, that I was like, oh, maybe it's my mom, maybe it's my sister, like, but there was no questioning the gender. And that is
because I didn't open my eyes, just felt somebody walking past me and like legit thought it was like my wife.
Yeah, like your brain rationalizes the person is, but the gender is something you just feel.
Right.
And that is really, really cool to hear, almost like validating to hear other people say that. I wonder if some listeners don't listen to other ghost stories and say, oh yeah, that's similar to what I had. So that, you know, that like rings true to me, because like I've felt that before, you know?
Yeah, well, my thing is like, obviously I'm not really a skeptic, but I'm realistic, and if something happens, I try to debunk it in my own mind.
Yeah.
But like what really, once I like fully gained consciousness after that, like what really sold it for me was just like, no, I actually heard the break in the airflow and the air conditioning, like somebody, like something solid walked past it, and then definitely felt the indention in the bed next to me of somebody getting in the bed. And I was just like, yeah, no, that definitely happened. Like,
yeah. And that is another thing. Like, I've never experienced that, but I've heard multiple stories of people experiencing a spirit getting in bed with them. Like that same thing of like feeling the indentation or feeling like the covers come up or something. And that is a bizarre, but it's only happened that one time for you.
Yeah, that's the only time anything like that's happened. Like I've seen some stuff, but that's the only time that like something, especially directly next to me. Like thankfully the covers didn't lift up, so whatever it was, like stayed on top of the covers. Like cool, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Like, because if the covers had lifted up, then I'd have been like, all right, I'm gonna go sleep in the front yard now.
Yeah,
like,
just totally feeling vulnerable. And yeah, I could see that. Where did your dad see the figure? Like, where in the house did he see the figure?
Oh, in the TV room. He fell asleep in his chair one night, which he normally does, and I kind of continue that tradition. But yeah, he just fell asleep in his recliner and woke up like in the middle of the night, and instead of just getting up and turning everything off and going to bed like he normally does, like there's just a ghost girl standing in front of him.
Weird.
Yeah. So that was something. And then I have 2 daughters too. And I don't know how serious they are, but like, I've always heard that like, you know, kids are more susceptible to stuff like that, than adults are. And like, we have like a walk-in closet in our bedroom, and, my wife, Sierra, was doing something in there one day. And then, our youngest, Harley, she just goes in there and she just stops and looks, and, you know, Sierra's like, what are you doing? She's just like, checking out the ghost girl in your closet.
Ooh.
And me and her, she just looked at me, and I'm just like, what? Like,
yeah.
What?
Excuse you?
And she's just like, yeah, there's a, yeah. And she's just like, yeah, there's a ghost girl in your closet. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Go to your room and think about what you've just said.
Yeah. Go to your room, fall asleep, and then wake up and say it was a dream. That'd be cool.
I can't handle this. Yeah. Well, that's wild. Did she ever talk about it again, or did you ever press her? Or was it just kind of like, you don't want to touch this?
Oh, no, it was just that one thing. Yeah, that was, I mean, with her at least, our oldest daughter has said some things, like apparently there was, again, she has an active imagination, and she's very artistic and stuff like that. Hers just freaked us out more than anything. I don't know how true it is just because I haven't seen it, but I don't want to say that it's not, you know? Mm-hmm. But she drew this picture, and she kept, I forgot what she named her, but she drew this picture of this little girl that she said lived in her closet and would never come out.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I was like, that's the note closet from now on, mm-hmm. and we're just going to set this house on fire and just count our loss.
Yes.
No, but she drew this picture, and it was just, I know her pictures, like it was just this nice little girl or whatever. And she said that she lived in her closet, but she wouldn't come out, but she would talk to her from the closet. And if she did come out of the closet, she would get into bed with Siren and say how, you know, apparently she had abusive parents or something like that. And that, you know, she said, she's like, but what happened to me isn't going to happen to you. I'll always love you. I'll always protect you. Stuff like that. And I'm just like, that's stuff that demons say to children to get them on their side. Like that's what, at least in every horror movie that I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, I actually took the more optimistic viewpoint where I was like, that's really sweet. Like I was just, but maybe I'm being naive. I don't know.
No, because initially that was my reaction, and then I thought about The Exorcist and like literally every other like possession movie I've seen, and I'm just like, wait a second. I was like, this is a Captain Howdy scenario.
Yeah,
no, thank you.
Never leave your side.
Yeah, and but what really freaked us out was we were kind of going along with it and just asking her questions and stuff like that. And, you know, me and Sierra played along. We're just like, well, if that's her intentions, that's good. You know, like we're cool with that. And then she said that that's not really what she looked like. She drew that picture, that version of her so that we wouldn't get freaked out.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I was like, what? Yeah. And she's just like, yeah, I drew what she really looks like, and this is what she really looks like. And she had eye sockets for eyes. So, like, no eyeballs at all. Had, like way too many teeth that were there. Like a black coloration around her lips. And I'm just like, and her hair was in tufts. And I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And she's like,
yeah.
And then she's just like, but you can't say anything. Like, she's just like, I just didn't want to freak you out. Well, I think I found the picture, and I was like, what's this? And she's just like, well, that's such and such, but that's what she really looks like. I just didn't want to freak you guys out. So then we're just like, so me and Sierra kind of really freaked out then. And then we're just kind of like, well, okay, just kind of keep us posted, whatever. And then
play nice.
I mean, I don't know what to say at that point. So then she goes back to her desk and starts drawing other pictures. And then we just 5-10 minutes later, we hear a scream and we're just like, what's going on? What's up? And she's just like, she peeked her head around the corner at me from the closet and she looked really angry. I think it's because I told you guys.
Oh, I was like, fuck no. Absolutely not. All of this. Yeah. No, absolutely not. I love it. I hate it. And I love it so much. Oh.
Yeah. And I'm just like, my life has just become a horror movie. Like, this is insidious. Like,
how old was your daughter at this time?
Oh, this was like a few months ago.
Holy shit, dude. Okay. So how old is your daughter?
She's 7, about to turn 8 at the end of the month.
Oh my God.
But I don't know, I kind of pulled like the tough dad thing. And I was just, when she wasn't in the room, I was basically like just looking at the closet, not knowing what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, we're not here to harm you. Don't harm my kid. Like, you do anything against my kid, we're gonna have problems. Just basically doing like the tough dad thing. Yeah. I don't know how much good it did, but she hasn't brought her up since.
Oh my God.
Well, actually, I take that back. She started to leave notes for her, but then this is where I don't know the validity of it.
Did you find the notes? Was it like a secret? Like you guys found the notes, or was she like, "Oh, here's a note I left for her"?
Oh no, her desk in her bedroom is right beside of the closet. So I found them cleaning up her room, like taking all the trash out and stuff like that. And like I found them, and she got mad that I found them. She's like, "I'm leaving them there for her," and I was like, "Siren," this has got to stop. I was like, she's not. I was like, it doesn't work like that.
What did the note say? And then
like, just like, I'm sorry I told them, I love you, like, please don't be mad at me, stuff like that. And then like, but she was also trying to write responses in like a different handwriting that didn't look like hers. And I was just like, yeah, Siren, like, come on, like this has got to stop. But ever since then, she hasn't mentioned anything. And I'm just like, so I don't really know how true that is. Like the only thing I can go off of is like a feeling, and like I get freaked out. Like what's really weird is that's my old bedroom. Like, no. so I'm just like, really? Like,
yeah.
This, I'm like, so every time I got freaked out, it was for a reason. I just couldn't see anything. Awesome.
Oh, so you got freaked out there as a little kid?
Not all the time, just feelings. Like me and my wife's first place, she bought it sight unseen because we were just trying to get our first place. But since it was our first place, not a lot of people were giving us chances.
Yeah.
And so she's literally just like, this townhouse agreed to us. It's the right price. Like, I just agreed to it. She's like, I saw pictures of them and they look nice. And I was like, okay, that's not sketch at all. I'm sure everything could go great from this. So, but we moved in, and it was a great place. Spare bedroom upstairs, like, literally was like fucking nope. Like literally just, I could feel dread and anger, like just from that room.
Yeah.
And it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like, and like, it was literally just a feeling, but like, I mean, I'm a pretty big dude. I'm like 6'3", 250 pounds. And like, just the feeling from that room, I literally ran, if the door was open, I literally ran past it to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Yeah. 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 Just like a sinister, dark thing.
Yeah. Well, and Sierra felt the same way. But she didn't tell me because she didn't want me to think I was crazy. And I didn't tell her because I didn't want her to think I was crazy. But so we both felt it. And like every other room of the house was fine, but that one. So she worked at home at the time. So for a call center. So I went to work going to Walmart and I left and she shut the door and she was starting her shift over the phone. And that's where the computer room was. We put the computer in that room because we're just like, nope. And So she started her shift, and the doorknob started jiggling back and forth. And she's like, Aubrey, stop. You got to go to work. Like, just stop. Like, stop messing with me. I'm at work.
Yeah.
And it stopped, and then it started up again. And she's like, I said stop. And then it started a third time. She looked and actually saw the doorknob turn back and forth. And she's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. And like paused it and like literally swung the door open and nothing was there.
Mm-mm.
And so she freaked out, but she's just like, okay, he ran downstairs.
Yeah.
But then she's just like, I would have heard him run downstairs like that, like, especially that fast. Like he would have had to like skip steps at a time.
Yeah.
And then she went to our bedroom and looked out the window and saw my car was gone. So I just made it to the first, like this happened as soon as I left. So I just made it to like the first traffic light out of the parking lot. And she called me crying like, oh my God, like, oh my God. And like, so she freaked out. So I calmed her down, and then nothing happened for months other than just the normal feeling of not liking that room. So she goes downstairs to fix breakfast one morning, and I go in there to check my Facebook and all that stuff. And there's a closet. We have the computer against the wall, and behind us, there's a closet, on the far side of the wall. And I heard we had a bunch of boxes in there, and she basically had the door shut, but had some boxes on the other side of it. And I heard cardboard start to slide. So I was like, crap, let me get in the closet real quick and stop these boxes from falling, because that's what I thought it was, because I don't want it to dump stuff everywhere and then have to clean that up. So when I turned around, the door was literally opening while pushing the boxes against the wall.
Huh.
And I just went, fuck this, and like ran down the steps. Because like the boxes weren't empty either. Because like, again, I was trying to justify everything, because I was just like, well, if it's on a slant, if the foundation was settling, any of this stuff, trying to basically keep me from being freaked out. And like, no, like, because there was the door was almost shut anyways. And like I said, there was boxes on the other side of it, and there was stuff in the boxes. So it was weighted down, and the door was literally pushing the boxes against the wall opening. And I'm just like, nope.
Yeah. Oh my God. So then that was in a different house than the one that you're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened that you ended up moving out of that house into the one you're in now? I mean, your childhood home.
Yeah. Basically just, my mom passed away.
Yeah.
And then we were going to move out of Vinton anyways. And my dad was kind of lonely, and he was just like, why don't he's like, I'd love to see the grandkids. Why don't you just move here? 'Cause it's just me in this house now.
Right.
And he's like, he'll give you a little bit of time to save up some money too. So we decided that would probably be the best thing. So we just decided to do that. And then he ended up getting remarried. And at first we were going to get our own place, and then they were going to stay here, but her house wasn't selling, and she missed her house. So she talked him into them moving back into her house. And then we just bought this house from my dad.
I see. Okay. And so when did you move into, like, when did you buy that house from your dad?
Going on a year now.
Okay. So it's been a little bit that you've been there. And it seems like it's been fairly recent that your daughter's been conversing with this creature.
Yeah. I mean, again, she hasn't mentioned it in like a month or two. So I'm thinking maybe it was like an imaginary friend kind of type scenario. Maybe.
Yeah.
But with all the other stuff that's happened, even the woman like walking past the air conditioner, getting in bed with me, like it didn't feel like malevolent. Like it didn't feel like evil or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then after she told me that and showed me the picture, every time I so much as looked at her closet, I got chills.
Yeah, definitely. So, do you still have the picture that she drew of that girl?
I don't. I think we got rid of them all, but she might have them.
If you find one, you should email it in. Like, I want to see it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. If I'll ask her. I'll be like, "Hey, remember that old girl in the closet or whatever? You have any pictures? If she still does have them, or I could get her to draw another one.
No,
then
I would say don't bring it up to her at all. Like if you don't know where it is, I wouldn't mess with it just because like who knows? Like if it's traumatic for her or something, like I wouldn't want to like stir that back up. But
yeah, thank you.
No, of course. But if you happen to find it, definitely email us. We want to
definitely.
See it. But
yeah.
God, that is crazy. That's like an actual horror movie. And also like her leaving notes for the imaginary friend. Like you said they were responses.
Yeah, that's no. Because like I said, it looked like she was starting to kind of like make a response herself to like, I guess because like, I guess it wasn't happening fast enough. So maybe she was trying to make herself believe that like it, like, I'm not sure because like, you know, I could have asked her a million times and I still would have gotten the same answer.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, who knows?
Right.
All I know is what she tells me, but like, no, as far as I know, that was the first note that she left for her because she said that, after she told us what she really looked like, and she got mad and just stared and just glared at her from the corner of the closet. I think she got upset because she didn't talk to her anymore. So I think that she was trying another way of communication by writing a note.
Man, that like honestly, that makes me believe in it. Like hardcore.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah.
I mean, and especially her desperation for like, why, Dad, why would you move these? Like, that's for her. I'm trying to talk to her. And her apologizing profusely. Like, it just seems. And then you're right, too. Like, I'm thinking about what you were saying about, like, it's almost like the manipulation of, like, other people can hurt you, but no one will hurt you as long as I'm your friend. Like, I'm with you, you know? That's like classic emotional abuse level, like in emotionally abusive relationships, you know, it's like that thing of like, you can't trust anyone else. You just have me, you know, or like
because that's what me and that's what me and my wife were trying to tell her. It's just like, well, that's our job, honey. We're here to protect you.
Yeah.
Like,
how scary.
Yeah. I don't know. Luckily, it might have been like a one and done thing, not necessarily once, but like because she actually shares the room with our youngest, and Harley, our 3-year-old, hasn't said anything. Now, if she says anything like about some girl in the closet, then I'm gonna be like, all right, well, we got to just sell this place, like that, you know. Like,
yeah.
Like I'm not gonna pull an Amityville Horror. Like we gone. Like,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Let's go.
Definitely. Yeah. Wow, that's just
either that or burn some sage.
Something. Yeah. And it's interesting too to hear like what works and what doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't have any answers for you. And I have listened to almost more than 50 of these so far since starting the show. And I mean, I can't tell you. Like, some people are like, yeah, I burned sage and then, ship shape. And then, like, other people are like, we burned sage. We had an exorcism. Like, we did all this crazy shit and, like, it didn't work. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like, it's
I'm always worried that my luck is going to be where the sage doesn't work. Cause like, it's like, it's same with you. It's just like, sage worked. And then the other stories are like, that just pissed it off. So now it's throwing chairs at me.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. That, and then sometimes it like makes me wonder about, cause I fully believe in it. Like you said, you and your wife are probably not really skeptical as much. Well, like enough to be reasonable, but, and speaking of which, I was going to ask your daughter, the 7-year-old, has she been exposed to any like horror shows or movies that could have like influenced this?
So she has like, some of it was like kind of out of our control. Like she has seen some scary stuff like Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff like that. But to my knowledge, she hasn't seen anything like what she drew.
Thanks for your call, Aubrey. It legitimately scared the hell out of me. Do you have a ghost story that you want to tell on Laughing in the Dark? Email us at litdarkpodcast@gmail.com or write to us in our Contact Us form on our website, litdarkpodcast.com. We may want to feature you on the show. Thanks so much for listening.